And finally, we're on to double page spread. So as you can see, with my magazine, I've included category text again with it exclusive in boxes, separate boxes. On Kerrang, again, it's done category texts with the website and more information in text at the top underneath the news. Mine's a feature article, so it's obviously labelled and categorised as features, and it's got visit distorted.com for more. I kind of used that kind of convention, if you like, just to kind of emphasise that there is more online. It's not just a magazine, there is more media towards my magazine. I've also used a pull quote. Like the Kerrang magazine, it's used a rather large pull quote just to kind of grab the reader's attention, and not only that, it kind of draws the reader into reading the actual article. Mine's kind of smaller than that, but my actual pull quote is actually smaller just because of space, as my interview was quite large, and I wanted that to be the main asset of the actual page, not the pull quote. The pull quote's within a speech bubble, which is lowered opacity, so you can still kind of see the image behind the actual speech bubble. I've rotated the text just to give it an edgy kind of look, and again, with the actual pull quote, it's got a stroke around the text, so it's emphasised enough, and it kind of compensates for the actual size of the text. Also in my magazine, I've included a kicker, which is Distorted meets Kim Jennett at her latest gig. I've used a bigger kicker than my actual pull quote, whereas Kerrang have done the actual reverse of this. I'd preferred to include a rather larger kicker, just to kind of start the interview off, kind of give it a mini introduction to my article. And I've highlighted Kim Jennett as she is the main cover and article star, if you like. Again, with my double page spread, I've highlighted the different colours for question and answers. I've highlighted the questions in white and the answers in black. Again, sticking with my colour scheme, I wanted to keep it with white, black and blue. Mainly black and white is on the actual image, but there is a splash of blue just to kind of stick with the house style. As you can see with Kerrang, they've highlighted the actual background of the text with white. It also emphasises the text, which is kind of what I wanted, and used that convention just to kind of emphasise questions from answers so that the reader doesn't really get confused. It's easy to read and understand, and also it's more easy to read and enjoy if you know what's being asked and what's actually going on within the article. I've developed some of the codes and conventions by including more than just one main image. I've actually included a series of images going down the side with photo captions. I decided to do this to make it almost look like a gallery of photos from her gig, and also rather than just having one image, because one image is quite basic, like the Kerrang's done. It's a main image, but there's only one image, so I wanted to develop it and add a few more within my magazine, just so the reader can see more. It's more visual rather than just reading a lot of text within my feature article, and also make it more vibrant and understanding for people who perhaps don't want to read, who perhaps people are more visual. I've also developed the codes and conventions by using different shapes. Kerrang magazine hasn't actually used many shapes, they've just used a text box and different colours, whereas I've used a kind of grime vector packed shape on the top middle of my page, and also a speech bubble and arrows near the feature and exclusive boxes. I wanted to do that because it makes it more fun, enjoyable, and appeals more to my target audience, which is aged 16 to 25, males and females. And the colours used throughout my magazine and the house style are appealing to both men and women. So I wanted to use those shapes just to kind of finish it off, make it look more fun, and also just make it look more eye-catching and stand out from all the other magazines that are in the market and the media industry at the moment. I've challenged the codes and conventions by actually using a lowered opacity box behind the text. Most of the magazines that I researched haven't actually used a box behind the text. I wanted to do that just to kind of give a structure as to where the text was and also make it more easily readable, because when I was developing my magazine, I noticed that the black text blended in with the leather jacket when I was actually including the text on Quark. Using the guidelines and the columns, I found that the text was situated over the black leather jacket and the black text was actually blended in. So to combat that issue, I included the blue box and lowered the opacity. And then I found that the text was instantly more readable. And again, if it's more easily readable, the reader's actually going to enjoy that experience and connect more with the article. I believe that my magazine is now professionally finished. I believe that if it was to be published, it would be fairly successful. And also, I've used and developed and challenged codes and conventions throughout. And thank you for listening.